As we have seen, we can easily change the properties of pens on the computer, such as their thickness, colour or shade, by using different programming blocks from the pen panel here. By combining these in different ways, it's possible to create quite complex programs that allow our users to draw in different ways. Let's now explore how we can add various actions to buttons to create a very simple drawing program. As you can see, I have already added a suitable sprite to use for drawing, and I have programmed it to follow my mouse around the screen. I'm now going to add a simple action that will make it draw on the screen if the space key is pressed, but not draw if the key isn't pressed. To do this, my program needs to ask the question, is the space key pressed? So I'll be needing an if-else statement. Let's add this to a forever loop so it keeps asking the question. OK, we can now add our question from the sensing menu, followed by the two actions, pen up and pen down. Right, let's test it. OK, that's working well. Now, to make this behave more like a drawing program, I need to add some buttons that will change some of the properties of the pen. Just like my cat or my pencil, buttons are sprites that can be found within the sprite library. Let's add one now by clicking here. I like the look of this button, so I'll add that now. I'll resize it and position it here. So what is this button going to do? Well, I'd like to allow the user to change the thickness of the pen. Every time they click the button, it gets a little thicker. The problem is the pen I'm drawing with belongs to the pencil sprite, not the button sprite. As a result, I can't use any of these actions here, since these will change the properties of the buttons pen. To get around this, I need to create a global variable that will store a value for the pen thickness. By making it a global variable, all sprites are able to access it, meaning my button can make changes to it, whilst my pencil sprite can make use of it. Let's create a variable and name it pen thickness, making sure it's available to all sprites. I can now make changes to this value when the button is clicked. From the event menu, I'll add a when this sprite is clicked trigger, then drag a change pen thickness block from the data menu. As you can see, as we run our program now, the value of the pen thickness changes by 1 every time the button is clicked. However, my pen isn't changing thickness. That's because we haven't yet programmed the pen thickness to change. We'll do this from the pencil sprite. From here, I'll add a when green flag is clicked trigger, followed by a forever loop, since I'd like my pen to always be checking it's drawing at the right size. I'll then drag and drop a set pen size block inside the loop, adding the pen thickness variable value from the data menu. OK, let's test our program. That's pretty good. I'd like to make one more change though, and that's to the appearance of the button. I'll select the button sprite and go to its costume. From here I'm going to use the text tool to add the word thicker within the button, and then use the flood tool to change the colours. So that shows how we can use buttons as event triggers, allowing us to create more useful software, such as drawing programs.